Hello, Mgtow. Black Clover once again. How's everybody doing? Today I want to talk to you about falling in love. Remember what that felt like? Remember all the butterflies you felt in your stomach? Do you miss it? Do you miss it? Be honest. It felt good, didn't it? I remember when I was in love. It's like nothing matters, right? Nothing matters except the woman in front of you. And every time you look at her, every time you are kissing her, it just you are in this state of euphoria. You're just it's like a drug, isn't it? If you really think about it, it's like a high. It is a high. It is a chemical reaction in your brain, but it's very similar to actually just taking a drug, and it just feels so amazing. And I remember when I was in love, it lasted for about 3 months, I would say 3 months, and just can you imagine that? Just nonstop, 3 months, you're in this state of euphoria. That's amazing, isn't it? That, gentlemen, that is why it is a damn near impossible task to red pill a man, a blue pilled man. It doesn't matter if they're a liberal or a conservative. It is freaking impossible or damn near impossible to red pill somebody, a guy, because that drug, it is so addicting, right? And it can be activated by just looking at a woman. So think about it. When you see when you see a beautiful woman, and they're everywhere, right? Beautiful women are everywhere, and you see them, and then your brain recognizes the beauty, and her body, and you're just in this craving. It's like when a dog looks at a juicy steak. His instincts take over. The dog's instincts take over, and all he wants is that steak. It is impossible for him to, unless you train your dog very, very well. It's impossible for your dog to ignore that juicy steak. And even if he ignores it, it's going to be hard for him to look away, right? That's what I mean. Anyway, guys, the topic here is do not fall in love again, and this is very hard to do. I know it's very hard to do, even for a Mgtow. So I like I said, I'm in all these groups on Facebook, Mgtow groups, and some of the Mgtow guys are like, why do you guys always keep talking about women? Talk about something else. Why do you guys always complain? They fail to realize that everybody is in different stages of the grief cycle of Mgtow, but also they don't understand that we need to keep going back and listening and learning about female nature, because again, our biological drive always wants to push us back to chasing women. That is why Mgtow is only 0.00001% of the population, because for a man it is very hard to stay away from a woman. It is honestly not fair. It's nature did this shit to us. Nature nerfed our brain so that humanity can continue. If nature didn't nerf our brain, if we actually looked at a woman and judged her logically based on what she said and what she did, then none of us would put up with women. But because they're so damn hard to resist when you look at them, when they're talking to you, when they're flirting, it's so hard because your lizard brain, your male brain, is all it wants to do. It shuts down, first of all. That's what nerfing means. It shuts down, and then all you're thinking about is, bending her over and fucking her. That's all. For real. That's why when you see like an ugly, fat, like post-wall woman, it is very easy to just ignore her, right? Because nature made her ugly and old after her fertility window, so that you can, know that she's not fertile anymore, and you can ignore her. Again, see, it's nature driving us. It's our mentality, our brain. So I have a conservative cousin, and he's conservative. So I figured if I approached him using the laws, right, how family court and all that, he would understand. And at the beginning, I thought he was understanding what I didn't really talk about female nature at first. I was just talking to him about family court, and I felt like I was making progress. But guess what? A few weeks later, he came back at me saying, it's not a good way to live a fearful life. It's not a good, don't be afraid. You have to find the right woman. See what I mean, guys? Even this tradcon, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, it's so hard to just completely let go of your need to find that woman. So now I've given up on him. I've sent him way too many Mgtow content. I've taught him a lot. I'm not gonna keep annoying him anymore because I've warned him. So it's whatever happens to him. But the point, guys, here is don't fall in love. Okay, even as a Mgtow, we are not exempt from this shit, guys. Again, your Mgtow, your red pill, but if you give this a few years, you might find a woman who is beautiful, who looks at you that certain way, who at first puts on this act that she's this angel, right? She's this wonderful, beautiful woman, and she might even start paying for dates. I'm telling you, women do this shit. Like, they will do everything that your dream girl, that you think a woman should be doing, right? So the perfect girl, imagine the perfect girl, what she does, what she looks like, her. They will act like the perfect girl, and you think you found your now Walt, right? And you're gonna fall in love. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna fall in love. At that point, when you feel like you're starting to fall in love, guys, the best thing to do is just go to YouTube, start watching some Mgtow content. Snap out of it. Learn that female nature is universal. Learn that shit, Learn that she's just putting on an act. Because if you fall in love, I guarantee you, her ultimate goal, what is her ultimate goal? What is it? It's commitment. So in the end, she's going to try to either get you guys to move in together, or of course, the ultimate prize for her is marriage. So she's not just going to be happy just being your girlfriend. That's not enough. She wants that commitment. She's going to ask you to move in with her, or she wants to move in with you. She's going to be like, hey, we've been dating for like almost a year now. We should move in together. And then you, in your dumbass, you're going to think you're going to get sex every day. So you're going to agree to it. Because that's what I did. That's what I did, guys. So, but you know what? As soon as you move in together, she's going to cut the sex off. I guarantee you might get it once or twice, once a week, once every 2 weeks, maybe once a month. You know why? Because then she's going to think in her mind, oh, I got him. We moved in together. So now that I got him, I don't have to put on this act anymore. I don't have to pretend that I actually really love him. I don't have to love bomb him anymore because you're stuck with her. You moved in with her. It's going to be very difficult to end the relationship if you're living together. Think about it. If you're married, you're done. You're fucking done. But if she got you, if you move in together, then she doesn't have to put on this facade anymore. So my point is, guys, if you fall in love, she got your ass. She got you. It's a trap. Love bombing, sex every day. When she first does that, she's trying to trap you. And if you fall for it, and if you fall in love, it's so. And you know what's fucked up? You're fighting with yourself. Your brain, your lizard brain, your mind your mind wants that feeling, that high that you get when you're in love. So your mind wants it subconsciously. You want to fall in love. You want to, when you kiss her, when you're touching her, when you're holding her, your mind is forcing, your mind is like, hey, this feels good. Yeah, let's keep going. Wow, this is amazing. This woman is perfect. So you have to fight yourself. That is fucking crazy. But after speaking to so many people, guys, trying to red pill people on the right, people on the left. And these are not just random people. These are friends, family, cousins, people that I'm very close with. But on opposite sides of the political spectrum. After trying to red pill them, I've learned that it is impossible. It is now you might be able to plant a tiny little seed of red pill that will not bloom and grow until they are screwed over. So for example, my cousin, after everything I told him, he's still telling me that what I'm doing is not healthy. It's a really dangerous way to live, and you have. He said the key is to find the right woman. All that bullshit. Anyway, so he's not listening to me. But once he gets into a long-term relationship or a marriage, and he sees how horrible it is, and how badly she's treating him after the honeymoon phase is over, of course, then he might start thinking about all the shit I've told him. Maybe he might. It's a tiny possibility, and then he might start looking it up himself, and then he might call me. But this is way down the road in the future. So, but it's not worth the headache. Planting that tiny little red pill seed inside their mind, I'm telling you guys, with all the shit back and forth, the arguments I've done with them, it is not worth the headache to try and red pill them, guys, even if they are friends and family. I pretty much told him that I'm going to stop sending him Mgtow content because I've done all I can at this point. I'm not going to keep it, sending him any more content. But although it would be nice to have a friend, who's red pilled that I know in real life that I can talk to. That's what I really wanted. Somebody who can see the matrix like I can. And who can speak freely to, who I can speak freely to. But and now the downside is, him and all the others, they all think I'm some crazy guy who's thinking about conspiracy theories and who's paranoid all the time about women, who even maybe even hates women. Even these are people that my cousins, my friends. Now they all think I'm misogynistic. That's the downside of trying to red pill friends and family, guys. Now they all see you differently. You were this cool guy at first, but now you hate women. So it's not worth it. Anyway, guys, back to the topic of this video. Falling in love is dangerous. It's you pump and dump. That's something you could do if you're careful. But my advice is, if you feel like you're falling in love with a woman that you maybe have no choice but to interact, like for example at school or at your job or your neighbor, somebody that you're seeing more than once, and if you feel like you're starting to like her because she's pretty or she's funny, most of the time it's because it's because she's pretty. Let's be real with ourselves. That's what we're most attracted to, their looks, right? So what you gotta do is even if you have to go back and watch red pill content every day, just go back and do that shit, okay? I know it's for us guys, I know it's like, yo, I'm Mgtow, I'm alpha, I'm this, I'm that, I'm not, fuck bitches. No. Guys, I'm just being real. Just be real for a minute, okay? We are men. It is easy for us to fall in love with women. That is how we are programmed, okay? All of us. It doesn't matter if you're alpha, whatever the fuck you want to describe yourself, okay? Everyone has, their what I'm trying to say is, if you see a woman that is beautiful enough, no matter how red pilled a man is, he's gonna, his instinct is gonna draw him towards that beautiful woman. So in that case, my advice is just snap yourself out of it. Get away from her. Start watching some red pill, some Mgtow shit, right? Some Liberation Y. I love that guy, Liberation Y. He keeps it real. He reminds you of why the fuck you're Mgtow. He reminds you female nature. He puts it out there. So I know if I really need a wake up call to snap out of it, I go watch Liberation Y. That guy, he reminds me exactly why the fuck I'm Mgtow. All right, guys. Black Clover. Thanks again. Take care. Bye-bye.